I've been making these videos for a couple of weeks now, uploading every single day, and I'd like to review what I've learnt. What fears have I had? What have my expectations been? Let's talk about it. Hey, and welcome to episode 14 now of this 30-part challenge series where I record a video of me talking every single day, talking about a topic, unedited and unscripted, just to get some practice really in speaking. Can I be coherent by the end of it? Can I hold a conversation for this long? And it's just the 2-week review now, I suppose. I've just got back from the gym. It's cold outside, it's a Sunday, and I'm at home, my least favourite place to record. So that's the first point, I suppose. Location matters, but you need to get over this in some respects. So at the very start, I really enjoyed recording at work, in the office, because there's no one around, it's a big room, there's no chance of me, being overheard really or irritating any neighbours. Like, they don't want to have to hear my droning along. I can just get on with things. It's like my safe place in that respect, going to work in the morning. But of course I had that issue at the start of the week whereby a colleague, out of some freak incident, actually turned up to work before work started. That's quite rare in my area. People normally turn up after work started, have a coffee, have a chat, mess around, and then after about an hour they like to start getting on with their work. Well, I suppose the old me, before I'd started this, would just crumble. I'd be like, well, that's it then, that's one day gone, I'm going to give up. I can't record at home, I have to follow my schedule. I've got to stick to my routine. But now, I feel that, bizarrely, this challenge has made me a lot more calm and confident and comfortable with making adjustments to things. I usually am a stickler for routines and sticking to the rules and sticking to what I've got planned out. But I'm getting a bit more relaxed with that, and it's actually helping quite a lot with my other things in life, my work, my personal, what personal life I have as a loner, which is very limited, to be honest. But yeah, it's helping a lot with those things, and so I am already seeing some benefit from doing this. I suppose I can move on to the confidence then. So at the start, I'd always be very nervous before recording these videos. I'd be almost dreading it in some respect. Every morning I'd think, is this topic a good topic? Am I going to just fumble over my words? Am I going to immediately forget everything that I've got in my mind? And that still happens quite often. In fact, I would be surprised if I remember everything I plan on talking about for this video in particular. So there's lots of things I've learned that I want to talk about. But, I'm just not practiced enough really, I suppose, with giving these talks. I'm already starting to think about what to do after the videos and how I would like to increase in volume, so the number of things and times I record, but also, of course, increase the quality where I can. I'm really looking forward to actually editing things down so I don't sound so much like a buffoon when I'm falling over my words, using a lot of filler words, laughing every now and then, saying things which I would rather cut out, but that goes against the challenge. What's the point if I don't complete the assignment? It's very helpful though, so I've gone from not being able to speak for more than a few minutes really in my work then to being able to actually hold long conversations and give presentations and such. It's been really helpful. So the next thing, I suppose, I do still speak very quickly, and I'm still not too happy with my pacing. But, and also, let's say, the fact that I cough every now and then, sniffle, swallow. I suppose eventually if I do start editing videos like a normal person, I will edit those bits out. Although I suppose it adds some human element to it. If I am just editing videos to be a perfect version of myself, then how does that compare with just having an AI make the video? If I make an AI voice of myself, I can just get it to generate content and have things come out perfectly. What's the point? one of the things I found recently, I think I've mentioned this in the past, I can't remember, is I do really enjoy and appreciate and have a lot of respect for the smaller YouTube channels that I've stumbled across because of this. You know, there was the one channel I think I mentioned at the very start who, it was a guy who lives in his car. He's got like 6 subscribers or something along those lines, but I really enjoy following his journey. Maybe I should actually let him know this, because, you know, I have found recently, like, I'm surprised this didn't even really enter my mind, that the comments that I left on videos are really, really interesting, really helpful, and almost it's the interaction that makes this worthwhile, worth doing. Like, I've got no aspirations of being some famous YouTuber or anything along those lines. I think the pressure would just would just destroy me. The stress of having to deliver them. I make these because I want to make them, and I want to learn something from them. And the audience interaction all of a sudden has been an incredibly, like, a fantastic benefit that, again, I didn't realise. So there's been one character or one person called Logan, and he's he's got like a drawing channel, and I'm very, to be honest, I'm quite jealous of the fact that he's come across and started doing this at his age. I think he's 18, or at least that's what his description says. I don't know, maybe he's an AI, maybe I'm an AI, but I'm really looking forward to how he progresses with his journey. And he's given me a lot of things to think about with his few comments that he's left and the things that he talks about in his videos. Some more comments on that one video, which seems to have weirdly done significantly better than my others, my AI one. People have made comments on, well, let's say the audio quality of my videos, which I need to actually work on now that I'm aware of it, because I wasn't aware of this. They've made points about things that I hadn't considered when I made the video, and that alone, I think, was giving me a lot of ideas of more things to think about in the future, or to think about and talk about in the future. It was a bit nerve-wracking seeing one video actually do somewhat well. Like, the purpose of these videos are just for me to learn how to talk, to get a good setup, to develop a process, that sort of thing, not to actually be the foundation of what I'm going to talk about in the future. But yeah, it's very, very interesting to see these things. You can see the analytics in the background. I don't want this to turn into some sort of AI channel, though, in the sense that I just talk about AI. Not that I am an AI or become an AI, something along those lines. I am going to continue trying to apply for this AI apprenticeship that has been offered in my workplace. And my intention behind that is, if I am successful, then I would like to vlog the whole process. It's a 13-month course. That would be quite an interesting thing to do, but that will be on a separate channel. But the purpose of this channel, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot recently, who is my target audience? Well, my target audience, I suppose, is people just like myself. Before I started this, or perhaps as I am now, so people who are feeling somewhat lost in society, like things have changed, radically in the last 10 years, even the last 5 years since the great pandemic of 2020/2021. And I think a lot of people out there are feeling lost with things. Perhaps they're feeling isolated. Perhaps they're just feeling that something's just not right with not really the world, but how things are for them, like the hand they've been dealt. How can they, well, I suppose it's just my opinions on these situations, and I'd really like to try and give some advice where I can. That's something I enjoy doing. Like, I'm a scientist, but also I work somewhat in, I suppose, well, not really education. I teach people things when I'm at work, and that's something I quite enjoy doing, something I get a lot out of. Whether people actually pay attention to what I have to say, that's another thing. But I suppose that's where my communication development can come from with this. So yeah, sorry for the rambling, I suppose. And of course, I'm sure there's loads of things that I've forgotten to talk about. Like, as soon as you press record, it's hard to keep all the points in your mind that you've been thinking about ahead of time. I would like to start the idea whereby I feed all the transcripts of my videos so far into an AI to just spit out some ideas, to try and talk about them with the shortest notice possible. So let's say I'm like, right, generate an idea. Then I press start and try and talk about that idea. when you have lots of time to think about ideas, you get all these ideas in your head as to what you want to say, and as soon as you press record, it's hard to arrange these in some sort of logical way, or you just forget things, or you start getting nervous, Well, that's just me at the moment. Maybe in the future things will be different. I'm quite happy with how far I've come in just 2 weeks alone. I had my first few videos at the start of the year, and I did those in a completely different way, a different microphone, different method of recording, and so on and so forth. One even was scripted. But I'm quite confident now that if I had just a page of notes, like bullet points almost, I'd be able to talk around them. But yeah, that's it for today. Some more interesting topics will be coming next week when I'm back at work, so from tomorrow onwards, and I shall see you then. Thanks for listening.